Hi guys, welcome back to Rhythm and Bass. It's George here. So for today's post, I wanted to do a podcast. I'm here with Shannon.
Hi.
So today I wanted to talk about the effect of EDM music on clubs and the music industry. So Shannon, would you say that you go clubbing quite often?
Yeah, I'd probably say I go clubbing like once or twice a week.
And
At most.
is that just down when you're at university, or is that when you're back home as well?
Mostly when I'm at university, but I do go out clubbing quite a lot in London when I'm back home with my friends as well.
And what is it about clubbing that you specifically like?
I just like the atmosphere, like in general, of being around so many people, like with the music blaring, like everyone's in such good spirits, everyone's dancing, like you wouldn't get that anywhere else.
Nice. So firstly, I want to get off with my first question. Do you like EDM music? So, I mean, if you don't know what that is, it consists of the subgenres of house, techno, drum and bass, funk, and disco. So, would you say you like it?
Yeah, I like house and drum and bass probably more than techno, but I'm not opposed to it.
So what is it specifically about house that you particularly like?
I like the synth in house music is something that I particularly do enjoy. Like the fact that it will just give you a good vibe, like a nice beat. You're not just standing there awkwardly, like two-stepping. Like you're actually moving everything. Like your whole body's moving, and like it's weird. It's just like a nice chilled vibe.
No, I completely agree with you. I'm the same. Like if I'm out clubbing, I feel like when house music's playing, the synth in a house, especially when you've got a drink, is something that like it's so consistent. You can't just two-step to it. Like it really opens the doors for like, I mean, if you want to act like a complete freak and dance how you want it, you can to that music.
Yeah, you've got nothing holding you back.
Yeah, like... no, completely. Because I'd say the consistency in house is something that I particularly enjoy. So to carry on, do you think that beat drops in EDM music are overly necessary if the music's super consistent then?
Yeah, 100%. You don't want one beat going constantly. Like, I think when you're in a club especially, it's like the adrenaline. Everyone's waiting. Everyone wants that drop, like beat drop. Like it's something you need in a way, because that's what hypes everyone up, gets everyone excited. I don't think the music would go as far as being as popular as it is without that. Otherwise, you'll just be standing there, just dancing to one beat, and then people would get bored very quickly.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think beat drops in EDM are something, I mean, specifically when you look at drum and bass, for example, obviously it builds up to that hype of like the eventual like release of energy, if you get what I mean, when everyone's got their drinks in their hands, they're fairly drunk, whatnot, in clubs, and then that all builds up. You feel like, to me it feels like you can see when you're in a club and you look around, you've got people kind of like, if you get me, shaking in a way to like get ready for that, and then once that happens, like it always just seems like a release of such good positive energy and like a great atmosphere.
It's one of them things where now it's so expected. Yeah. So without that, like, I know I've been in like situations where like me and my mate will be at home and we'll be listening to this song and we'll be like, when's the beat coming? Like, when's the drop coming? Like we're waiting, like we're sitting there waiting for it, because that is what makes it. If it hasn't got a good beat drop, you're not interested. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, completely. So to carry on, I just want to ask you, do you enjoy the vibes that DJs give off in clubs when playing EDM music?
Yeah, because I think we're having a good time, and if the DJ's having a good time, then it just makes it better. If you had like great music and then the DJ at the front is just giving you nothing, it's like they're hyping you as much as you're hyping them.
I always find that as well. Like, I mean, I've been to events before where like, I mean, I think in most clubs you're able to see the DJ, whether it's from like just eye level, or you like look up and you can see the DJ at the, you know, the DJ podium. And I've
Yeah.
seen DJs before that just don't look like they're having the best time. And I think if you're stood up on that pedestal, like you should be setting the mood. It doesn't make a good atmosphere if you're not doing that for the people.
That is what they're like. That is their job. Surely they should be as proud and happy to see that what they're doing, their music, is making people feel the way they are feeling.
Yeah, completely.
So I've been places and the DJ just stand there and I'm just like, come on, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not really selling yourself at all.
Yeah, completely. So I want to get onto the music industry now. So do you think that house and techno specifically has seen a lot more mainstream acceptance because of how clubs have promoted it for so long as an underground subgenre? Like, I know it deters kind of like a little bit, but I feel like it's necessary to point out that it's seen a lot more mainstream acceptance.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot more DJs coming into the mainstream music in the past few years, especially like David Guetta. Like, I've seen him like 3 times, and every time I love him. Like, he's great. But like, I think Calvin Harris, he's so big now. Like, he does so many tracks with so many big artists that also bring in another audience.
Yeah, completely. I think, to be more specific, I think that house has probably seen a lot more mainstream acceptance than I would say techno has in the official charts. Like you said, Calvin Harris and David Guetta specifically doing house. Like, they dabble in techno. I know that Calvin Harris does. But specifically, I think they stick more to house because I think it's more of a sound that the mainstream audience likes. And I think when you then add a vocalist on top of that, I think it adds a lot more to that track, which, I mean, I think that the clubs have done a good job in promoting house and techno to where it is now, because I think years prior, when EDM first started happening, it probably just wouldn't have been seen so much like it is now. I think there is kind of a craze specifically within a lot of youth that are now listening to EDM a lot more, putting the streams up on Spotify. And I think that kind of translates now into mainstream
exactly
charts.
What I was going to say. Like, you hear it out in the clubs and then you're like, what? Oh, where was that song from? Where was the song from? And now we have the platforms to go out at home. You can click anything. You've got YouTube, you've got Spotify, you've got SoundCloud. Like, there's so many places that you can listen to, like, house techno music in your own home, giving them a wider audience, and it's boosting their, what's the word? Like, they're boosting their listeners, but also their image. Like, they're getting a bigger, I can't think of the word. What is the word? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely know what you mean. So I just want to shine a little bit of light on drum and bass, just because I feel like in my whole blog I've talked quite a lot about house and techno specifically because I feel like them two subgenres are the ones that people mostly listen to. But obviously I'm not discrediting the amount of people that do listen to drum and bass because I know it's very popular. But I just want to ask, like, is it something you listen to frequently, or do you think that drum and bass is a subgenre of EDM that you kind of only experience if you go to certain clubs or events?
I personally do like drum and bass. Like, if I'm at home and it sounds silly, but if I'm at home and I need something that just like will excite me, or if I'm in a weird mood, like, I'll put some drum and bass on.
Yeah.
Just because it hypes me up, it gives me a happier feeling. Like, I enjoy it a lot. I know, like, when I hear it probably, like you said, a lot more when I do go to events. Like, I went to Studio 338 in Greenwich.
Yeah.
A little while ago, and that was pure drum and bass, and that was amazing. Like, it was such a great experience. And I do think it's a shame because I know a lot of my friends probably don't listen to it, and I try and get them into it and they're just not interested, and I'm like, no, listen. And then when they're out there enjoying it,
yeah, no, completely,
they wouldn't sit there at home and listen to it. So
right, so that wraps up where we're at now, Shannon. So I just want to say thank you for coming on the podcast and giving your input. I really appreciate it.
Oh, don't be silly. I've enjoyed it.
So thank you all for listening, guys, and I shall see you in my next post. Bye bye.